published 13:22 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 6th of May 2018, updated 20:55 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 6th of May 2018. This is not a result that should surprise anybody. On a stifling early summer's day, victory went to the team that had not been to Rome and back for a madcap Champions League semi-final in midweek. While Liverpool thrilled us in the Stadio Olimpico, Chelsea were at home preparing for a game they had to win to prolong the season in the Premier League. Frankly, it showed. Liverpool ran diligently at Stamford Bridge and enjoyed more possession. But football is a game that is also played with the mind as well as the feet, and it was here that Liverpool were found wanting. Olivier Giroud's first half strike was enough to ensure Chelsea came out on top against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. Giroud opened the scoring for the hosts when he leapt above the Liverpool defence to nod the ball home. In the first half, the ball flew past Liverpool goalkeeper Loris Karius, who was left helpless as his side fell behind. At Stamford Bridge, Giroud made a beeline for the substitutes bench thereafter and embraced the Blues' Brazilian defender David Luiz. For once, Jurgen Klopp's players lacked imagination and craft, and when the final whistle blew, Liverpool had played for the final hour and created only one chance, an injury-time header over the bar by substitute Dominic Solanke. So what this will mean remains to be seen. This result, and Tottenham's defeat at West Brom on Saturday, keeps Chelsea in the hunt for a top 4 place. Actually, it puts them back into it. For so long, Antonio Conte and his players seemed out of the picture. For Liverpool, it will bring a certain discomfort. The Champions League finalists should have been assured of a place in next season's edition some time ago. But a run of only 2 league wins in 8 league games means they may head to next Sunday's home game with Brighton needing a win to be sure. To a degree, it is Liverpool's own fault. They threw away a 2-goal lead at West Brom not long ago and then failed to beat Stoke City at home. Mitigating circumstances revolve around their involvement in the Champions League. Ties against Manchester City and then Roma were uplifting, but they have taken a great deal from Klopp's players at a time when Liverpool have started to suffer a little with injuries. All teams hit peaks and troughs during a season. In the league, Liverpool's standards have fallen, and Klopp must hope he can find one final performance in his team this weekend, but also that a 2-week break will then rejuvenate them ahead of their Kiev appointment with Real Madrid. Antonio Conte gestures to his players from the touchline during the opening exchanges of the Premier League clash. Liverpool's record signing Virgil van Dijk eases Eden Hazard off the ball during a battle for possession in midfield. Liverpool's Sadio Mane goes tumbling to the ground after a strong challenge from Chelsea midfielder N'Golo Kante. Van Dijk towers above Giroud to win a header as the aerial battle continued to pose a threat to Liverpool's goal. Liverpool were not terrible here. They were just not as good as they needed to be. Conte asked his Chelsea players to defend deeply and trouble Liverpool on the break. It was a sensible plan and it worked. Despite the fact that Liverpool spent many minutes with the ball, Chelsea created as many, if not more, real chances. The winning goal came just after half an hour, moments after Sadio Mane had twice threatened at the other end for Liverpool. At that stage the visitors were looking the more likely, but goals can change much in a football game, and once they were ahead, Chelsea sat on the lead diligently and capably. 2 weeks earlier, Conte gave Olivier Giroud his chance in the FA Cup semi-final and was repaid with a key goal. The same thing happened here. The Frenchman is not to everybody's liking and doesn't always look of the required standard for a really top club. But here he reacted better than Dejan Lovren to Victor Moses' deflected cross from the right and climbed above the Liverpool defender to glance the ball across goal and into the top corner from about 7 yards. Lovren is not always the best in their air. For a big, powerful athlete, he can be bullied. On this occasion, he seemed slow to get off the ground, but it could be that the deflection on the cross wrong-footed him decisively. Whatever the case, it proved the pivotal duel of the whole game and Lovren lost it. Giroud attempts to hold off the advances of Dejan Lovren but falls to the ground in a bid to win the ball at Stamford Bridge. This time it is the Chelsea striker who gets the best of defender Lovren as he nods the ball into Karius's goal. The Frenchman wheels away in celebration as the Liverpool defence are left to rue the mistakes following the opener. The Red Star striker Mohamed Salah watches on as his team attempt to get back into the tie after going a goal down. Liverpool still had an hour to save this game. They only needed one goal to take what they needed, and they usually always score. But almost immediately this felt different. It felt harder and a little laboured. Soon after the goal, Mo Salah competed for possession on the edge of the Chelsea penalty area but dived. He was booked and it was the right call. This was not a good day for the Egyptian on his return to Chelsea. He ran his legs off, as did centre-forward Roberto Firmino. But only main of Liverpool's attacking players really carried a persistent threat, and it was a surprise that Klopp gave Solanke only 15 minutes off the bench towards the end. On the break, Chelsea were dangerous and Eden Hazard was the game's best player. Twice either side of half-time he reached the byline but could not find a cross to pick out a teammate. There was also a stunning far post volley from Marcos Alonso that we would have talked about for years had it flashed 2 or 3 inches closer to goal. It really was the purest strike you would wish to see. Late on, Liverpool pushed hard but could not prevail. Currently, they are not the same team at home as they are in Europe, and they now have 7 days to change that. Hazard of Chelsea saw his shot saved by Karius as the hosts tried to double the slender lead in the second half on Sunday. Antonio Rudiger thought he had done just that when he nodded the ball into the net before it was ruled out for offside. The defender puts his head in his hands in anguish. Following the ruling, as the Blues remain just 1 goal ahead, Salah has to fend off Gary Cahill, the Chelsea skipper, to win possession near the host's penalty area late in the game. Chelsea defender Cesar Azpilicueta remonstrates with referee Anthony Taylor as the hosts try to close the game out. Even Salah, the league's top goal scorer, couldn't architect any clear-cut chances to penetrate the Blues' defense. Reds boss Jurgen Klopp watches on from the sidelines as his team slipped to defeat at Stamford Bridge on Sunday afternoon.